Hey Commanders, Commander Hoopchi here with another Elite Dangerous tutorial, flight school for Elite Dangerous on the Ghetto X Box 1. Gotta be careful when you have the Kinect hooked up how often and frequently you say that word, because it'll fire up something or do something or, try to do something, and we don't really want that to happen. So this is episode 10. We're going to talk about power management, and we're going to start just by talking about the very basics and then get into some more detailed things about managing your power using modules and things like that. The first thing you need to know about the power management, though, is that it's adjusted using the D-pad. So if you were to look at the power management system, and you can't really see it in this view, here, but I'll zoom in on it using my editing software if I can and show it to you. But you'll notice that we have the system, the engines, and the weapons. 3 bars, orange bars located over there on the lower right-hand side. And I currently have 4 colored in boxes under engines, 2 colored in boxes under systems, and no colored in boxes under the weapon bar. I'm going to press down on the D-pad now. Down on the D-pad resets all of your imbalances, all of your systems, so that it's equally distributed between systems, engines, and weapons. Okay? So when I do that, it's going to provide equal opportunity for all of my systems to have the power. Now this is power that's coming into those systems that's available to do what those systems do. So, your systems, if your shields go down, your systems are responsible for recharging those shields, and the more power you put into systems, then the faster rate at which your shields will be able to recharge. So if my shields are down and I really want to prioritize getting those shields back up, I will press left on my D-pad and dump more power into my systems. And I can do it until I have 4 pips. Pips is what I call those little square circles at the bottom of the system bar. 4 pips into systems. Now my recharge rate on my shields and the repairs on other systems will go as quick as it possibly can now, and that's a good thing. Alright, if I want to go faster, okay, so I want to speed out here into the inky black of space, and I want to go faster, the more pips I put into engine, you'll notice the higher my throttle is able to go. Now I've currently got let's just back everything out of engines, okay? And you'll see that I'm currently sitting at 90. Let's put it right in the center. I'm sitting at 101 on my speed with 2 pips in my engines. If I pop another pip in there, now I'm up to 104, and the blue bar moves up a little bit. Pop another pip in there, now I'm up to 106, and the blue bar moves up a little bit, which gives me a higher top end in terms of my speed. So if I max out my throttle and I'm cruising along here with no landing gear out and no boosting, you'll see I'm at 221. If I go ahead and reset my pips, you're going to see I drop down to 211 as my max speed. If I dump even more pips into systems and take them away from engines, I can get down as far as 205 being my max speed. So there's quite a bit of a difference there. But the biggest thing, not necessarily, at speed. I mean, yeah, 211 to 205 is a significant difference, if you're trying to get away from somebody. But the biggest difference really is in how fast those systems recharge. So for instance, if I'm trying to get away from somebody and I'm boosting and I only have 1 pips in my engines, let's go ahead and kill throttle here and watch what happens. I've only got 1 pip in my engine, and I'm going to hit B to boost, okay? And you'll see the yellow bar above the engines is going to go down. And now it's going to begin, I'll go ahead and boost and get all the way up to 325. And now the yellow bar over engines begins to recharge. Notice how slow it recharges. It's, I've got 3 bars left. Now I've got 2 bars left. Now I've got 1 bar left. And finally, I will completely recharge the available amount of power to help me boost in my engines. Now watch what happens if I go ahead and I dump 4 pips into engines and I boost. Okay, I boost. Go ahead and get my max speed. Now I've got 2 bars. Oh wow, look at that, how much faster that is. I can already boost again. And in fact, I can boost additionally as soon as I get the opportunity, as soon as my engines give me the opportunity. I can almost boost non-stop continuously when I have all the pips into my engines. And that's a good thing. Make sure, I'm going to go ahead and deploy hard points here. I don't want to do this inside the firing zone. Now, it's also important to note that putting weapons power in, putting 4 pips in weapons makes a big difference as well. I'm running double pulse lasers on my Vulture, my bounty hunter right now. And you'll notice as I begin to fire the pulse lasers, you can watch over on the left-hand side, and you can see the power of my pulse lasers is going down. The available power that's there. And now I'm at thermal overload, and only one of my pulse lasers is able to fire. And my weapons are recharging, and at some point I may get some of that ability back, but at this point my best thing to do is go ahead and stop shooting and allow those pulse lasers to charge back up. But you'll see, as soon as I start shooting both of them at the same time, I get into that same situation. Now contrast that with what happens when we put 4 pips into our weapons. Okay, we'll go ahead and let that charge up all the way so we'll have a standard to go by. Our weapons are completely charged up, our pulse lasers are charged up. Let's see what happens when I start shooting. Now notice, if you go back and compare this to what happened earlier, I'm able to shoot much longer and for a much more sustained time when I have 4 pips into weapons, as opposed to distributing those pips evenly or dumping them into engines and systems. I'm still shooting. I'm still shooting. And finally, I now get to the point where I'm in thermal overload, but even though I'm in thermal overload, I still have enough pips and weapons that my lasers are now alternate firing rather than only one of them firing. If I let off for a few minutes, you'll notice that the recharge rate on those is much, much faster than it was when, say, I was down to 1 pip, which now, notice they're barely recharging. So where this becomes important is when you are trying to manage these systems, your engines, and your weapons. And you're going to have to learn which one you need at what time and how to handle it in order to manage these systems appropriately. What is it? Tell them I'll be down in just a minute, okay? Tell them I'll be down in just a minute. Thanks. Okay. So where this becomes important is when you're trying to determine what do I need to do right now as a pilot of this Vulture to either pull off this kill for this bounty, or get away from this guy who's about to destroy me, or recharge my shields to prepare for the next battle. And you're going to need to determine, what works best for you. For me, when I'm just flying around the galaxy, most of the time I'll keep everything dropped into engines. It gives me a little more speed. It definitely gives me a little more boost ability. I can boost a lot more frequently and get to where I want to go a lot quicker when I have those pips in there. And, when I'm just flying around, and nothing's happening, I don't have any problems with the ship, that's what I'm going to do. Especially if I have my hard points put away, there's no need to have any of those pips put into weapons. And I'll go ahead and dump, I'll use the D-pad, left and up on the D-pad to dump all of my power into systems and engines and take it out of weapons. If I want to quickly reset that, I just press down on the D-pad. Now I have equally distributed between system, engines, and weapons. You'll start to learn in the middle of battles what's most important. There are times when I'm battling someone that I go ahead and dump a lot of, dump all the pips into engines, because I may be fighting somebody who's got a little better turning radius than me, and I really need to turn better. I need to turn faster. I need to move quicker, and I may need to go ahead and dump pips into engines to make that happen. I may need to start to recharge on shields or be able to make sure that my modules and things like that are working properly. I may dump it into systems. Most of the time when I'm battling, especially bounty hunting in a wing or by myself, I keep 4 pips and weapons, because the quicker I can take that bad guy out and complete the bounty and complete the kill, the better off I am. And then after it's over with, if my shields are down, I may dump everything over into systems to get them back up. If I'm trying to run, you know, somebody's kicking my tail and I need to get out of there, I guarantee you I'm going to have 4 pips and engines, and I'm going to be boosting like a mad dog to get out of there, with hard points away, of course. So that's a little bit of a basic primer on how to use the pips and the you know, the management system of your engines and all of that. Next video we'll talk about modules and how to balance those. I hope you enjoyed that, and remember, commanders, fly safe.